Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Robert with McDougall Insurance right here in Norman, and what we're going to go over today is really just a deductible in regards to a homeowner's policy and some things that you want to look for here, at least in Oklahoma, in regards to the rules of having a deductible for your homeowner's policy. So if that is of interest to you, then please stick around because we're going to jump right into it. Okay, cool. So thank you for staying around. I know insurance isn't the most fun topic in the world, but we're going to try to make it as interesting as possible. So basically, when it comes to a deductible, that's one of the most common things people know about as far as terminology in the insurance industry. Now, are they always accurate? No, but they're not always wrong. So just having said that, it's one of the more known things about the insurance industry, but it's not exactly nailed down that well as far as being known exactly how it works. I'm going to talk about the homeowner side. So when you look at a homeowner's policy and a deductible, and we're talking here in Oklahoma, so when you look at a homeowner's policy and the deductible, you're looking at protecting yourself in the event that something happened as far as what you are out of pocket. Okay, so your deductible is simply there to mean this is what you're at risk, this number, before the insurance kicks in, or in the event of a total loss, that's what they're going to take out of the dwelling, assuming it's a replacement cost policy. So your deductible can be set up a lot of different ways within your homeowner's policy, and one way that I think is unique is a split deductible. And what I mean by that is when you think of the word all perils, okay, so you got all perils, like a peril is something that could happen, so lightning, fire, theft, water damage, hail, wind, high winds, or just a tornado, or just high winds, fast winds. But basically, with a deductible, you can have a split deductible where you could say, okay, all perils except for wind and hail are covered at, let's just say, $1,000 or $2,000, right? So what that means is that if the claim doesn't have anything to do with wind and hail, and the peril is covered, and you have a loss like fire, or a pipe freezes and water busts, and you get water damage in your home, you're looking at your initial deductible, which is $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever the one of the two numbers is, right? And it's meant to be lower than wind and hail. In Oklahoma, 9 out of 10 claims that we're going to file are going to be wind and hail related. 9 out of 10 of those wind and hail related claims are going to be a roof that needs replaced, right? When that happens, you bring in a roofing company. Now, you want to make sure you're dealing with someone reputable, but you typically are going to get help from a roofing company, and that's in regards to your deductible. So I guess where I'm going is this: if you have a homeowner's policy, what you should look at, and I don't mean take out and hit submit and go with, but I mean look at it as an option, is look at a split deductible. You know what I mean? Like $1,000 or $2,000 for something like fire, theft, water damage, or whatever it may be outside of wind and hail, because a fire company or the fire department isn't going to come in and help you with your deductible. So it makes sense to have that lower, right? With a higher deductible on wind and hail, theoretically a roofing company is going to come in and take that deductible into consideration when gaining your business. So they're going to bid on your deductible. You just don't want to go with the lowest bidder all the time unless they're a very reputable company. So that's kind of a fine line that you walk out there in the field when you're messing with a roofing company. But just make sure you're messing with someone reputable. And we do have roofing companies that we refer, but you can use whoever you want. Just like I say, make sure they're reputable. So the deductible setup that I like as far as a home policy is something along the lines of all perils $1,000 to $2,500, okay, and then wind and hail at a 2% of the dwelling. So in other words, if the dwelling, meaning the home, is covered at $200,000, 2% of that would be $4,000. So in other words, the wind and hail claim would have a deductible of $4,000. Roofing companies typically come in because wind and hail claims are typically roofs. So roofing companies come in and they take your claim or your deductible into consideration when providing you a bid. So that is what happens in the real world. What you pay on paper won't be, or what you have on paper to pay won't be what you actually pay in a real life scenario, typically. Now, having said that, the reason that I bring this deductible thing up is because this is something that this is a perspective that people don't typically have, or they don't typically take. And I get it. I never had it before someone exposed it to me. But if I just flat out had a $2,500 deductible or $3,000 deductible, and let's say I've got a medium size to bigger size house, right? It's going to benefit me to look at a higher deductible, because in all reality, at what number would I file a claim? You know, we in Oklahoma, we don't want to be claim happy because of the activity we get every fall, basically, or year round, but every fall primarily, with high winds, hails, and tornadoes. So you don't want to be claim happy. And that kind of goes without saying if you somewhat understand insurance as a homeowner. But on the flip side, you want to ask yourself, okay, if I'm paying $1,000 or if I have a deductible that's $1,000, that's great in the event that something happens. Okay, I'm going to pay my premium because whether something happens or not, that's in the policy. You're going to pay your premium. Your deductible is going to make your premium higher than it would if your deductible was a little higher. Your premium would go down because you take more risks, right? So the more risk you take as the deductible, the less your premium is. So you're kind of paying for your insurance on the back end in the event that something actually does happen. Which, who's to say whether it will or whether it won't? But what I'm saying is that you just really got to ask yourself, okay, if I have a deductible at $2,000, that's great. But if I have a $3,500 loss, am I going to claim it? And if the answer is no, why do you have a deductible that low? Pull the deductible up, decrease your premium, and go from there. That's my take. That's what I've seen with my agency, where people have low deductibles, which is good in theory, in your mind, if that's your preference. It's not my insurance, it's yours. Having said that, you have to be open to look at, well, if you want to save some money and not cut coverage, right? The one thing we can manipulate that has a big indication on your premium is the deductible. Okay? So I hope that all made sense. I know I kind of go round and round, and I don't mean to, and there's people who tell me that I don't do very good on my videos, and I'm funny but I'm not funny, and this and that. So I'm trying to be serious in all seriousness. But that is kind of just a blueprint for a deductible on how I take it. Okay? With insurance being insurance, I don't feel like I can come on here and just be black and white insurance and hold your attention. I feel like I'm being lucky to hold your attention if you're still on the video right now. So I appreciate you. If you have some questions or anything about insurance or just something that I could help with, I'd be happy to. The number here is 405-321-8716. Again, my name is Robert. That's my take on a deductible. We would love to provide you a quote and help you out in any way possible. So having said that, signing off, have a very good day.